How many people out there would love to see every single slaughterhouse on this planet shut down permanently? You don't actually need to raise your hand, otherwise people sitting next to you are gonna be like, what's up with them?
But I would appreciate it if you double tap the screen so that more people have a chance to hear the message that I'm about to share.
And we can make that dream of a slaughter-free planet into a reality faster. So here's what's up. My name's Gabriel. I'm an animal rights activist and musician who performs under the name Gaia's Eye. And a few months ago, I helped launch a campaign with the Animal Safe movement to make Toronto into the first slaughter-free city in the Western world.
Wait, it's legal to murder animals in Toronto? Who? What? Where?
Right here, just blocks away from Keele and Sinclair.
In the middle of an otherwise quiet residential neighborhood.
At this slaughterhouse, and at this one across the street, and at this slaughterhouse, just south of Sinclair. Tens of thousands of cows and chickens, animals no different in any meaningful way than puppies and kittens, are being brutally shot, stabbed, and electrocuted to death to fill Toronto's supermarket shelves and restaurants with their body parts. If you'd like to put an end to this, there are 3 steps we need to take to make that happen. Okay, step 1, add your name to the petition demanding that the mayor and city council of Toronto shut down these animal torture and murder facilities and make history by making Toronto the first slaughter-free city on Earth. Actually, Toronto will be the 2nd city in the world to ban the slaughter of animals after Palitana in the Gujarat state of India. We've already gathered over 20,000 signatures to do just that, and we were planning a march from the city's slaughterhouse district to City Hall, but due to an increase in COVID cases, public gatherings in Toronto have now been limited to just 25 people. So we decided, you know what? If only 25 of us are allowed to gather in one place, let's hold a symbolic rally with 25 people to represent 25,000 signatures on the petition for a slaughter-free city.
There's only one problem with this idea. We don't have 25,000 signatures yet. We only have about 21,000 signatures. So no matter where you live in the world, if you'd like to help this campaign move forward and help us here in Toronto lead by example so that we can inspire more cities to follow suit, eventually inspire entire states, provinces, countries, nations to follow suit, I would massively appreciate if you add your name to the petition, which is linked in the bio of Toronto Pig Save and Toronto Cow Save on Instagram or on our official campaign website at thesavemovement.org/Toronto.
But wait, if we shut down these blood-soaked, disease-ridden facilities, what about all the jobs we're gonna lose? Oh, so now you care about the people who work in slaughterhouses and their families, right? I'm glad you care. Well, then you might be interested to know that the people who work in slaughterhouses, doing a job that involves 8+ hours a day, with shooting, stabbing, gassing, electrocuting, or in the case of factory farms where 99% of animals are raised, beating disabled baby animals to death because they're not going to be able to grow up to generate a profit after slaughter, are extremely likely to be traumatized by their bloody jobs and get post-traumatic stress disorder as a result. Working inside a slaughterhouse also has one of the highest injury rates of any job and has been empirically proven to lead to higher rates of suicide, violent crime, domestic violence, child abuse, and even rape in surrounding communities. On top of that, these slaughterhouses have become epicenters of the COVID-19 pandemic, which began just like the 1918 pandemic that killed over 50 million people because of humans eating animals, specifically birds, who are killed by the tens of thousands every single day in this slaughterhouse alone. On top of that, for anyone who claims to care about human rights, social justice, and racism, you should know that slaughterhouse workers are far more likely to come from vulnerable and disadvantaged communities. People who have few other job options than to do the brutalizing and the killing that the rest of Toronto are too nice or too much of animal lovers to do themselves. If you actually care about the people who work here, then let's help them get better jobs. That's why one of our demands for City Hall is for Toronto's government to help with re-employment programs for slaughterhouse workers, potentially in the exploding plant-based foods industry, or really anywhere that doesn't involve murdering animals all day. The rally that we're going to hold is also going to be a press conference where we're going to formally announce this event to the media and people of Toronto, and having 25,000 signatures in advance increases the likelihood that Toronto's main TV channels and newspapers will actually show up, cover the press conference, and broadcast our message to the city. Having a large number of signatures also means that when we move into phase 2, the most important, crucial phase of this campaign of directly pressuring city councilors and the mayor to shut down Toronto's slaughterhouses immediately. Every single person who schedules a call or a Zoom meeting with their councilor will be representing tens of thousands of people and speaking about an issue that is already on the government's radar.
And the second we get one city councilor to actually author a bill for a slaughter-free Toronto, instantly this campaign becomes elevated to an obviously newsworthy story. Instantly we spawn thousands of conversations and debates around the city about whether we want to continue murdering tens of thousands of animals every day in our city or not. And if you're a vegan watching this, you already know what happens when people try and argue in favor of animal abuse and killing. The key is just to get people to pay attention to the fact that it's happening right here in the first place, and to connect the idea of their breakfast, lunch, and dinner to the slaughterhouse right in the middle of our city. And the sooner we spark those conversations, have those debates, the sooner we can get 13 out of 25 councilors, that's all that it's going to take, to support that bill and permanently end the slaughter of animals in Toronto.
And the entire time we're fighting for that goal, we're simultaneously informing people about the facts of the animal exploitation industry and promoting plant-based, murder-free alternatives, thereby reducing demand for animal slaughter no matter what city the animals are killed in. When I talk to people about this campaign, a very legitimate question often comes up, which is, hey, well, if you shut down, this one slaughterhouse in Toronto, won't they just murder the animals somewhere else? Yes, eventually they will. But if you want to know what the consequences will be of us disrupting these slaughterhouses, look no further than the consequences of slaughterhouse closures due to COVID-19. The immediate consequence is that basically animals who were going to be shipped to the slaughterhouses that are shut down are kept alive because there's a wait list to the other slaughterhouses. They can't function at the capacity. What that means is the farmers who are keeping those animals alive are having to spend extra money. The reason that animals are murdered as babies is because that's what's efficient. They fatten them up to the age when they have however much flesh on their bones that they can ship them off to slaughter, chop their body into pieces, and sell the flesh. That's the most economical way to do things for the animal murder industry. If all of a sudden there's this much bigger wait time to go to slaughterhouses, there's a bottleneck, that means that the farmers are gonna have to be spending money and money and money to keep the animals alive. So in addition to extending their time on Earth, what that means is that the price of animal flesh is going to go up. That's exactly what happened with COVID-19. When the price of something goes up, the consumption goes down. So we've seen that with COVID-19, and we've seen the consumption of vegan meats go way up as a result. So that's exactly what we're trying to accomplish. Furthermore, if you take a bigger look at the big picture, take a more strategic look at this, slaughterhouses, why are slaughterhouses in cities in the first place? You think that doesn't seem to make any sense, but it makes perfect economic sense. First of all, cities are centrally located with farms around them, so it makes sense for them all to come to one location. Gas costs money. Second of all, cities have lots of cheap labor and often desperate labor willing to do potentially one of the worst jobs on the planet, a job correlated to all of those horrible things I mentioned earlier. And furthermore, perhaps most importantly, cities are where the animal eaters live. After they chop up the animals' bodies into pieces, it's going to be the supermarkets and restaurants around the city where their dead body parts are distributed to. So if we mess with this process and we shut down slaughterhouses in cities, first of all, it's going to be a very expensive and time-consuming process to attempt to build slaughterhouses elsewhere. And that provides us an opportunity to disrupt that and to protest and hopefully stop the construction of new slaughterhouses as well. In the meantime, we raise the prices, we reduce consumption, and most importantly, like I said earlier, we force people to confront the idea that if you're against animal slaughter, if you don't want tens of thousands of animals tortured to death in your city, then you should stop contributing to that yourself by stopping to eat animal foods. In my opinion, this is a crucial form of activism that the animal rights movement around the world needs to increase our usage of. If you'd like to get involved with this movement in your own city, you can go to thesavemovement.org and click on Animal Save Movement. A drop-down menu will come up and click on Find a Local Chapter. We're going to be launching similar campaigns in cities around the world very soon. And if you live in New York City, Los Angeles, or Chicago, be sure to follow Slaughter Free Chicago, Slaughter Free LA, and Slaughter Free NYC respectively. Okay, so let's get down to business. Please remember to sign the petition, and we are going to be making history very soon. Thank you for listening.